Hi, it's Jan. Yay! Today is the first day of the HAED sale for the Facebook group Cross Stitch and Discuss number 2. We've been waiting since August to start. December the 1st has hit. Luckily in Australia, December the 1st hit first. So yes, we can finally start. So good. I'm going to document today. I thought it'd be lots of fun to do snippets through the day and show you how I go and how I start. No kids, no work until 3:30. So I've got the day, yay! Oh, quick, I'd better clean up first. So I don't know if you can tell today, but the weather outside is atrocious. There's fog around in there on the river, and it's showering today. There's rain dripping off my espalier apples there. Luckily it is raining because I don't feel so guilty about not being outside in the garden. Today is the 1st of December in Australia, which means it's the first day of summer. But it's a miserable day and I don't mind being inside and having an excuse to be inside. It's great. Alright, so here's my fabric. I've got 25 count fabric. It's Magic Guide Even Weave. I decided I'd give this a try. I'm not someone with lots of patience for doing my own gridding. It's a piece that's about 31 centimetres by 19 centimetres, and the thing is, can I cut it in half and use the other piece for something, because my stitch is only 9 by 11 3/4 in width. I've decided just to go with this piece. I like a fair bit of room on either side for my Q-snap. I have run into trouble with projects that don't have much width on the side, that's free of stitching, that it's hard to stitch on the side. So it's hard to stitch on the side under a Q-snap. Sometimes I have to stitch in hand on the edges. So I've decided I'll go with this piece and I'm going to mark out my 9 by 11 3/4 width and work from there. Each block is 20 stitches because even weave's often stitched over 2 threads. So each 10 by 10 square actually has 20 kind of weaves of thread of the fabric in each block. So I will get 20 stitches because I'm stitching 1 over 1. I'm stitching just 1 over 1 of these strands, sorry, 1 of these threads of fabric. So each block has 20 by 20 in it. So I'm going to mark out so I know where to start my pattern roughly. I'm going to, that's 9 across. And that looks fairly centered. Look, it doesn't have to be perfect, does it? When you've got a large bit of fabric, it doesn't have to be, when you know, I've got more than enough to play with. So to me, that looks fairly centered. If I start in this corner here, I might even start there. I'm going to have plenty of room on either side for framing, plenty of room across. So it'll be in this frame here. If I roughly pin it, you'll get an idea. So I'm roughly pinning it. It says it's 11 3/4. I'll go, you know, say it's supposed to be 12. So the pattern's tiny, isn't it? It's a mini Alice and Snow White pattern. So it is tiny. It is really a mini. That way hopefully it won't take me absolutely forever like some of the larger pieces. Well, that's good. I like that size, it's great. I'm going to now do a test stitching. I haven't done that because I thought I was sort of cheating. So I decided to leave it until today because I thought if I like it, I'm going to leave it. So I'm going to do the test stitching up in the top left block with the black. A lot of what I'll be stitching today is black up in this corner. So I'm going to start stitching that. I'm going to try 2 over 1. And see how that looks tent stitching. It may not work and I might have to go to 1 over 1 crosses, or so I'll give it a go and see what it looks like and check back in. Okay, so here is the design I'm going to do. This is Mini Alice and Snow White. There's a large version of it It's a Heaven and Earth design, and this is artwork by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Oh, I think it's lovely. I'm making it for my daughter. She's 16 and she absolutely loves Blythe dolls, and they resemble Blythe dolls. She also absolutely loves Once Upon a Time TV series, which is all about fairy tales. So I'm doing this for her wall in her bedroom. So here's what I've done to prepare. I've bobinated the threads and I've got 2 of these boxes. Okay, I'm in my stitchy spot and I've been stitching for maybe about 20 minutes and I'm pleased. I've started my test stitching. I've started in this top left corner of the project. As you can see, it's a lot of black. I'm using Anchor Black because I understand it's thicker and it's got a better coverage than the DMC black. So I'm doing that. I want fairly good coverage. I don't want to see a lot of white. So that's why I'm test stitching with 2/1 so I can do the loop method to start. I have got a video link to loop method if you're wondering what it is. Carmaz, who I'll also link, if you're interested in doing Heaven and Earth design sales, you might like to look at her video. She does the loop method from the front, so I've started doing that. Love it. Carolyn, very good. 2/1 tent stitch, and I'm happy with the result. I can't see a lot of white. I'm stitching it on white because I really think the white is perfect for this design. I associate Alice with a fair bit of white, and it's beautiful white in the cat. Not that you'll be seeing the back, but I just felt it just really needed the white fabric rather than a cream or a beige. And I'm happy with that. It's good. It's pretty good coverage. You see a tiny little bit of white, but when you hold it from a distance, I don't think it'll matter. I'm very pleased. It's certainly quick doing tent stitching. Probably almost half as quick as cross stitch, so it'll make the project go quicker, which is a bonus. I'm using number 28 needles. I like the small needle. I've just discovered them in the last year or so, and I really do like them, and I try to get the petite if I can, which means it's a shorter rod, and it means I use the thread for longer. I can waste less thread using a smaller needle. So no, I'm very happy. It's going really well, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So I'm going to get back to stitching while I talk. I zigzagged around my fabric this morning, just with a sewing machine. I'm lucky I've got a sewing machine that's set up, so it's not too much trouble to get out and zigzag around the edges. I used to use tape years ago. I'm staggering my block of black because I understand when you're doing a really large block of colour on a Heaven and Earth design, you can sometimes get a ridge if you do a straight column from one block to the next. It's like you can see the end of a block of colour sometimes. If you're stitching columns, you can get a block-like effect. So I'm staggering the end of it on my block so you won't see it. This is not my first Heaven and Earth design that I've started. I started one 2, maybe 3 years ago. It was a beautiful design. I've still got it. A very large design, a BAP, which means big project, and it was by Marta Dalek, and I love Marta's projects. I don't think I'd researched enough about the count, and I hadn't researched enough about what I'd use to stitch with it. So I started it, and I did it in 2/1 cross stitch, and I just had a lot of trouble. I can't remember what count I used. I think it was a Hardanger fabric, so it was an even weave. I have got it up there somewhere, and I should pull it out and actually count the count of the fabric. I did it 2/1 cross stitch, and I just found the further I went on, the thicker and harder it got to put in a stitch, and I just couldn't get it neat for some reason. I don't know, so I just stopped it. And I thought, no use going on, just stop this project before you get too deep into it. And that's fine. I have got it up there, and I think I will restart it. If this goes well in 10 stitch, I think I will I think I'll do it again, and try it again. There's a lot of background in that particular design, love. And I think I could even reduce the pattern a bit and not have it's as such a big design, but we'll see. So I'm hoping this one will be more successful. I love it if I was really happy with it, and so I'm excited to start it again. There are some fabulous Heaven and Earth designs. I think it's easy to become a bit perfectionistic with things, and it's easy to get tired of projects if they're not perfect. So I'm hoping I'll have a bit more resilience with this one and see how we go. It's obviously long haul projects, although this one is a mini, so it's not quite as big as some it's not as big as some can get. I have a few other patterns for Heaven and Earth designs I've bought. One's part of the Treasure Hunt bookshelf by Amy Stewart. So it's just a few of the books. I guess that's blown up, zoomed in sort of appearance. And I'll be excited to start that one. I might start that over summer. I've got one called Witching Hour, which has got a beautiful cat in it. I'm not really one to cross stitch cats, but if you saw the books and the candle and the moon, that's in that particular design. And the fact it's got the cat's got the character of my cat, Bob. That's probably what's appealed to me about that. I'm not sure when I'll start that though. I do love these doll patterns, or doll-like patterns though, of Jessica Beckett-Griffith. They're kind of sort of funky and cool, and are sort of suitable for youngish kind of girls, or girls at heart. I'm doing the traditional method of tent stitching with this large block of black. I don't feel necessarily do it all the way through, but I am for the black because I understand it has better coverage. So the classic method, the stitches, if you look at the back, goes on the diagonal rather than the straight. So I'm doing that traditional method, just so I'm hoping I can get more coverage at the front. When you do it that style, you get less holes. The diagonal tends to cover the holes at the back a bit more, so you get less see-through. So anyway, I'm hoping that works. That's my theory. Alright, well I might get back to watching a bit of FlossTube while I stitch, and I'll catch up with you and let you know how I'm getting on a bit later in the day. Okay, I've been stitching for about 2.5 hours, and I've done about 1200 stitches in tent stitch. So it's not a half cross stitch, and I'm wrapped with the progress. Obviously I'm just doing black, so I don't have any colour change at this point. The pattern is a large format, and I think I've got 15 pages to stitch all up in this pattern. 16 pages to stitch. So I must have four pages in each row. So I plan on stitching all down the left for the first page. The bottom of the first page is here at 80 stitches, and then once I get down to the bottom I'll come and back up to the top of the second column and work downwards. Stitching this, I've decided with all this excess fabric I need to make myself a Q-snap. fabric cover, so I'm going to look up a tutorial for that. I don't find stitching on the sewing machine hard, so I will definitely do that and get that done very soon, just so I'm not making the fabric dirty. I'm loving this fabric. It's quite firm, which is good. The stitches aren't slipping behind in the even weave. The fabric is holding the stitches really well, and so I think they look really neat. That was the other issue I had when I've stitched one-on-one in other projects, including the first HAED I started but didn't finish, was that I wasn't actually happy with the neatness of the stitching, whereas I'm really happy with the neatness of this stitching. I like the anchor thread, so I'm happy to continue with the black anchor. The rest of it's going to be DMC, the recommended DMC colours, just the black anchor I've changed. So all's great. I'm going to stop and have a bit of a lunch break and then get back to it a little bit later. And I'll check in and let you know how I've got on. Thanks. Okay, so this will be my last video update for the day. It's 2:30 and I'm about to go and start doing the school pickup. Anyway, I've done probably 1,700 stitches, which I'm really pleased about. I haven't introduced any new colours, but I'm going to do that once I start this block. I'm going to work down block by block. I'm delighted with how amazingly quick the tent stitching is and how I've produced this. I've done a quarter of a page, so I'm very happy with that. It's going to keep going well, I think. How's your HAED stitching going if you're doing this now? I hope you've had a good day and you've been happy with your progress, pleased with your stitches, happy with the fabric and the pattern and coping okay. So anyway, I'm not sure when I'll update you again with this. We'll see how we go. I've got a few other whips on the go and I'm trying to get some more completion done on them before probably this becomes my focus piece, but we'll see how we go. Thoroughly enjoyed stitching it today and it's so exciting, isn't it, to get a new project. Have a great stitching week and I look forward to watching your updates as well. Bye. It's 3 weeks since the HAED sale started tomorrow and I wanted to show where I'm up to before I end this video. My husband's had my computer and I haven't been able to log in onto my homepage to be able to do any videos, so I apologise for that. Hence the delay in this first day sale video going up. As you can see, I have done a bit more since I finished day one of the sale. At day one I'd done almost 1 page and now I've done 2/3 of a page. Not long to go and I'll finish it. I've done the top corner up here, as you can see. So there's a bit of blonde hair beginning to show through there. I've done Carmaz YouTube channel's version of parking, which seems to be going really well for me. I just have to be careful I'm not parking in the incorrect spot, and I am marking my pattern to show and reflect parking and to show and reflect what I've actually stitched. The threads do kind of hang down. They don't seem to get knotty though, so I'm very pleased with that. This is, as you remember, on the 25 count magic guide, so each square is a 20 by 20 block, because this even weave just assumes I'm going to be stitching over 2. I'm actually stitching over 1, so as I go I mark in my 10 by 10 square within it, which makes it easier. I'm working 10 by 10 blocks at a time going down. I'm working 1, 10, yeah, and I'm working all the way down and then I'm going up. I am really following Carmaz's parking tutorial and I'll make a link to that below. I absolutely love doing this. I mostly try and do it during the day. It's a bit tricky leading up to Christmas. There's a lot of end of year things in Australia, particularly the school year finishes, so that means there's been less time. I've been out and about, and with Christmas coming up I've been organising that. So looking forward to, over the summer holidays, getting a lot more done. I do need really good light for it because I think the squares are smaller. As long as I have my lamp, I'm right, and I'm really happy with it. So I should get this page done very soon and move on to the second page. I guess I assumed I'm working across the top in the order of the pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. rather than downwards from this page. So I'll be moving towards the right and finishing the tops of their hair, hopefully very soon, well, in a few months. So that's the end of this video. I look forward to posting heaps more videos over summer. Have a happy Christmas if you celebrate it, if I don't get around to doing another video before Christmas. Take care, guys. Bye.